y'all, I'm Ashley, and I want to welcome you to Real Rare. This is my first reaction video or commentary, and I'm a little nervous, but I am excited about today's video. So, I am, or maybe I should say was, a for real fan of the Jacksons of Atlanta. I'm not going to say that I don't enjoy them anymore or don't look forward to their content. It really just kind of depends on what it is that they're talking about, or maybe really what mood I'm in. But as most of you or all of us were excited about the news of their baby and the birth of their baby, and honestly, there's just a lot of drama that comes around the Jacksons of Atlanta and anything far-reaching related to a baby. I actually started watching this couple about a year ago. It was when they were allegedly pregnant with a third set of twins, and my very first video watching this family was when Mahogany was in the hospital and giving birth to what appeared to be a singleton based on all of the things that I was seeing on the internet. So I can't speak very much for this family prior to about a year ago. I have gone back and watched several videos. Okay, let me be honest. I've watched a lot of their videos. I was a for real fan. I'm serious. I dived so deep into this family that, y'all, I did research. Like, I researched and researched and researched. I researched so much that I bought Mahogany's book. Now, some of that was truly because I'm a fan or was a fan. Don't really know where I stand right now. And I really was interested in her story and, whatever it was that, she experienced to help her, or really help me understand how she is and why she is and where she comes from. And just, her story. And I thought that, purchasing her book will help me. I'll be honest, I haven't finished it yet. Life been lifing. But I say all that to say that I am coming to you with thoughts that are not surface level. I've actually watched them for, like I mentioned, a year now. I've looked into Mahogany and Justin's, past a little bit as regards to, their previous ministry and kind of, where they got started or their roots. And of course, I've looked at tons of other reaction videos and commentaries all over YouTube and all over the place. And of course, that sometimes shapes your judgment or your understanding of, who these people are. But let me stay focused. The Jacksons of Atlanta, I'm sure if you're watching this video, then you're probably somewhat familiar with this couple. Very much small town raised, and they decided to get out of that. And they moved to Atlanta, or the outskirts thereof, and they are now pregnant or just gave birth to baby number 6. And it is a boy again. This family, these two, they've wanted a girl, and honestly, y'all, I want a girl for them. I know how much it meant, to them to have a little baby girl. And I was really praying with them that God will bring that through, but it wasn't in his will. And like I always say, I'd rather be in the will of God. Outside of it is just far too dangerous. I mean, being in the will of God is hard enough. So let's not even think about what life would be like if we're walking outside of God's will. So by now, you probably have picked up on my love for Christ and God, which is another reason why I felt so freaking connected to this couple. they are in ministry and their upbringing is in ministry. And I thought, wow, I have, some things in common with them. I'm a PK, I'm a preacher's kid. I've, dated a couple ministers in my past, and I thought, that would help me, relate to them a little bit more in their love for Christ and coming from a small town and, having big dreams, and even my interest in media and technology and entertainment. I studied communications in college. I studied communications and public relations, and I've, been in a couple films, just small roles, like background. You wouldn't even know I was there if I didn't tell you. But I love that type of stuff, and I know they do too. And so acting's their thing, and I'm like, I love them. I feel like we will be friends in real life, like for real. But my reaction to one of their most recent videos of the birth of their baby boy, Maverick. Don't know if you know that, but I know that they, work very hard to create good quality content, and, they share their, pieces of information as they will, and as they want. It's their content to share when they want to, as far as their life. But one thing I picked up on was the baby name. And I know that they're likely going to provide some huge, miraculous, announcement of sorts, just like they did for Miles, the last baby. But I was able to pick up the name of the baby, and I wondered if anyone else heard it. So I know at one point, one of the nurses asked, Dad, what's the name of the baby? And, of course they blur it out or bleep it out so that we don't know what he says. But another nurse, or I don't know if it was another one or the same one, but someone says the name later. And it's right towards the end of the video that they posted, around the maybe 40-minute mark. And one of the nurses says, Mahogany, you can't close your legs. You got to keep your legs open. You're going to squish the baby. And they're like, come on, you just got to give a good push. The baby's right there. Maverick's ready to come. And I was like, Maverick? I was like, oh my gosh, the baby's name is Maverick. And allegedly, I could be all wrong, or, what do you think? You think the nurse was just making something up? You think they're all in cahoots and they're just saying something to throw us off to see if anybody's going to pick up on this false fake name? I don't know. My mind kind of gets down in the deeps and I wonder was that for real? Or maybe that was to throw us off. But no, that was just too serious. That was in the moment. That baby's name is Maverick. And it makes sense. It's an M. They're sticking with M's now. Maverick. I don't know. I think it's beautiful, honestly. So shout out to y'all, Jacksons of Atlanta. Kudos. I think the name is absolutely beautiful. I look forward to seeing Maverick. I think it was great. And, just a couple other things, I don't know. I felt her pain in this video. Not literally, but I think you gotta be a pretty disingenuous person not to be able to see the type of pain that she's going through with this birth. And let's just be honest. We know birth is not supposed to be painless. But, you really feel for her on a deeper level, because you see how vulnerable she is. We know the Jacksons of Atlanta to be very elaborate and very show-offy, but I just kind of feel like no matter who you are at this point in the video or throughout the video, you were able to see the genuinity of them, and especially Mahogany as she's, going through labor, essentially. She's started labor before even getting to the hospital. So shout out to you, girl. I just want to say, listen, you are a rock star. You have a really high pain tolerance, and I appreciate that. Girl, I'm giving you air hugs right now. I'm clapping for you. I'm giving you a pat on the back because you did that. There were a couple other things. I don't want to bash them because, like I said, I like them. I haven't watched them as much recently. I was a diehard fan. Let me just say, I watched every single video the very moment it came out. rewatched it. I would have them on in the background if I just need something planned. I was telling friends about them. But I will say that, I mean, sometimes I just don't feel like some of their content is as genuine as it should be. Or let me say this, as genuine as I would like it to be. This is their page. This is their page. This is their content. I suppose they can do whatever they want to, but I don't have to watch it. And so if I am not in the mood, then I don't. But there was a time I really, really watched them. So, I mean, like at one point in the videos, one of the nurse asks, she asks about like medicine and getting medicine for her pain. And then she says, oh, well, last time I was already in the hospital. And then the nurse says, well, why? And then we never hear the answer. I mean, it cuts off. So it's like, I caught that. Like, you get asked a question, you don't answer it, and then like it fades away. And then we're like, moving on, carry on. And the same thing happened right before they even went in the hospital. They were like getting out of the car, and the nurse that has the wheelchair brings it out, and then she says something like, what baby? And he's like, oh, baby number 6. And then they say, what's your due date? Crickets. Mahogany says nothing. Justin says nothing. And it's like, okay, y'all know the due date. Like, neither one of you answer. Okay, let's give Mahogany a shadow of a doubt and say she was in severe pain and she couldn't answer at the moment, because that's a thing, right? You're hurting. I can't answer you right now. Justin could have said something. I mean, come on, dude. Like, you were able to answer how many babies, what baby number this is, but you didn't answer due date. And I know that's been some drama that's been all on the YouTube streets of when is the baby actually due? You know, I was watching another commentator, and one of the commentators even mentioned about the date. Like, if you look when they first get in the truck at the house, Mahogany's phone is flipped up when Justin gets in the back of the truck in the SUV, and he's like recording her, and she's bent over and she has her phone in her hand. You're able to see the date, and the date is September 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. It was September 3rd at like 11 a.m. I even went to look at the clock that's on the truck, like the radio. The date was all weird. I really couldn't tell, but the time was the same. So I imagine that was maybe correct. But then when he's at Kroger's getting gas, someone mentioned, did he just say August 20th? And I said, he did say August 20th at the gas station. But we don't know if that was the actual date for that day, or if August 20th was, I don't know, some date that he was getting points, because it sounded like he was using points. I don't know. I get my gas from Sam's. I don't ever go to Kroger's, so I don't know how that works or what that date was that he mentioned at the gas pump. But he definitely mentions August 20th. Don't know that was the actual date that they were there. It does seem as though it may have been September. But then when you go a little bit further in the video, and they ask, when was the last baby? And then she says, August. The nurse said, August, like a year ago? Okay, so you can't really take that, because it could be a year ago, as in August to August could be a year, is in their thoughts, or August to September could be a year, because essentially still a year ago. So you can't really go by that. Like that, I'm not really sure. I got some notes here just to make sure that I covered everything, because I was like, wow, I cannot believe the baby's name is Maverick. It's so beautiful. So yeah, y'all, I just wanted to point out a couple things, that I noticed in that video, and that being the confusion with the date. Of course, there's always been this, well, we don't know when they have their baby. I'm not going to hold them like over some huge, whatever, to be like, oh, well, they should have said this or they should have put this. I get it. I mean, you have a baby. It's a huge event in your life, and you already have other kids at home. It's stressful enough, let alone having, the internet go wild of like all these questions and all these thoughts and all the whatever. I mean, you should be able to just enjoy that time with your husband and your wife and your baby and your family. So I'm not going to harp too much on that. And I do appreciate that Justin did mention that they weren't able to do the what's in your bag, hospital bag thing, because like that posted the other day. And then it's like, well, now you're doing the baby video. So now you're saying that you have to go back. So we understand now that they are being truthful about that, although we know that they have not done that in the past. And I'll just be honest, y'all, I think that's probably when I stopped watching, is when I started seeing that they were posting videos from like a year ago or 2 years ago, whatever the case was. And I was like, I don't like that. And the titles, like the title will be one thing, and then the video will be something completely different. Even the thumbnail would be something current or what they look like now. But then when you click on the video is like 2 years ago or a year ago when they were at their old apartment. And there's a lot of new viewers that, have not watched them for that long. And they were some confused, some just whatever. They didn't know, I guess. And they just kept watching. I know there's been a lot of talk of them paying for, subscribers or paying for comments. I don't know about the whole paying for subscribers or comments thing. I will say that their comments are just so out of the way. Like even the videos where the content was clearly questionable, like it's not matching. Like the title and the actual video doesn't match. The comments will still be all positive. Like everybody's still positive. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I love you. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. Oh my gosh, you're the best. And I'm like, did you watch the video? Even some of the videos would say something's going to happen and then it never happens. And the comments are still like, oh my gosh, I'm praying for you and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but if you watch the video, you'll realize that nothing actually happened. So what are we praying for? Like, I'm happy to touch and agree too. I've got some blessed oil as well. But like, what are we praying for? Because nothing happened. So at that point, it's like, okay, I think I'm not as interested anymore. And I don't know, like, I just feel like as a Christian, and as a upstanding man and woman of God. And let me say this. I know that people always harp on, you can't judge, and who are you? That's why I don't like church now. That's why I don't like Christians now, because they judge, they this, they that, blah, 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 blah. But like I said, I have really researched these people. And I went way back and watched them. And it's on the internet, obviously. You can look it up. And they have changed so much. And I'm not sure that, in my personal opinion, once again, this is my personal opinion. These are my own personal thoughts, ideas. This is nothing that is concrete or standard. You don't have to stand by this. This is just what I believe. I don't think that they've personally changed completely for the better. I do think there are some times and some ways in which they have gone backwards. That's just me. But yeah, so I think for me, that's when I started to become a little bit disinterested. So, we'll see kind of what happens from here. Like I said, I was a very much loyal subscriber. I watched every single thing. I've not done that. So I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I have not done that in the past few weeks, maybe even month or so. I've just kind of like peeped at their page to see if there's anything that I want to click on. I'll be honest with you. I have not seen the movie, the gender reveal. I haven't seen any of that. Like I really became that disinterested. And I saw a lot of other, commentators and reviewers, mentioning like, oh, they've got this many subscribers and they only have this many views. That's true. Numbers don't lie. Like that's one thing you can't lie about. You can't lie about the numbers. And so it doesn't, like they say, the math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing, baby. It ain't adding up. Like you got that many subscribers, you should have that, at least half of that on videos. And they don't even get half of that on videos. And I think that there are a lot of other people out there that feel very similar to me, that we just don't like the disingenuity of it. Like I just don't like that. I don't trust them. It's like you become family. It's like you guys are my family. You're my YouTube family. But like, are we though? Because like the way you be lying, sis, I just can't. And I get it. This is your job. I understand that you have to continue to make content that is, interesting and intriguing and, something that's going to run up the algorithm, because this is your job. This is how you pay your bills. I'm not mad at you for that. But can we do it another way though? I don't know. I just feel like, you at this point as a content creator, as a full-time content creator, you are a person of service. Like you are providing a service, just like a hairdresser or whatever. If I don't feel that I like your customer service, I'm not coming back. And that's the same way with content creators and viewers. Like if they feel as though I don't like the service that you're providing me, then I don't have to come back. And essentially that's going to hurt you because that's how you make your money. And so I do think that, as content creators, I do think that I say they because I'm not really one. This, like I said, this is my first video. I do think that they forget that sometimes, is that you are supposed to create your content. You're supposed to tailor it for your audience. I mean, think about it. If you're creating videos and you realize that those videos aren't getting you anywhere or getting you numbers, then you're going to have to switch up your content because obviously that's not what they want to see. And if you're realizing that, when we lie and we scheme and we scam or when we do whatever, people aren't watching. So maybe let's go back to some things that work. Maybe let's just be really genuine people, or a little bit more genuine than what we've been. So I will say that I really do appreciate that about this last video. Like I said, I think it was interesting. It was intriguing. It was a little bit more honest than I think their past or their last few videos have been. And so I appreciate that so much. Again, there's always this stuff up in the air about the date that she had the baby, whatever. I don't even know if I'm really harping on that as much. Like, whatever. She had the baby's safe, the baby's here, alive and well, and that's what matters. So, hey, y'all, Jacksons of Atlanta, I'm very happy to know that baby and mom and family are doing well. All of this is alleged information. Like I said, disclaimer on all this, fair use. I believe that the baby's name is Maverick. If so, kudos to y'all on choosing and selecting a very beautiful name for baby boy number 6. That is so exciting. I think they gave birth, allegedly gave birth at Piedmont Rockdale Hospital, I believe, or Rockdale Hospital in Conyers, Georgia, I think is where they gave birth at. But allegedly, baby boy is here, baby boy Maverick, and I'm so excited for the entire family. I look forward to the new intro, new pictures. I know y'all just took family portraits, so I know those won't come for a good little minute, but I'm excited for y'all, and I just wanted to share the news that baby boy Maverick is here. And once again, this is my first reaction video, and I am honestly a little elated, honored for it to be the Jacksons, because like I said, I followed them for a very long time. I've been a fan for about a year now. Like I said, I really feel like we would have been friends in real life because of course, I only know them for what I see on the internet. And of course, who you are on the internet, who you are in real life is not always the same person, because you can't truly be authentically yourself completely and 100%, because there's a lot of people that are going to judge you. And so who knows really how they are in real life. And I do truly feel that they may be good people, but I mean, hey, they got to pay their bills. So I assume that that's where the dishonesty comes from. But hey, once again, that's my thoughts. Those are my opinions. Everybody has them. So there are some people out there like, no, they're not dishonest. They're not disingenuous. They're 100% that girl. You do you, boo. Do you. This is my real rare thoughts. Okay. So anyway, y'all, thanks for joining me. Thank you for sticking around throughout this entire video. If you like this type of content, I hope that you will stick around and stay a little bit longer. I'm hoping to bring you more reactions and reviews and commentary for various vlogs and trending topics and other family vloggers and bloggers. So stay tuned. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and share it to your friends. And hey, there's more where this comes from. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.